Hey everybody, welcome to Crack It Pack Tuesday number 39 on the Mana League, the last of the year. We have another pack of Battle for Zendikar, and we are only 2 weeks away from the first Crack It Pack Tuesday of Oath of the Gatewatch, or at least I think it's 2 weeks away. I hope it is because I just announced it. We'll see. But we're going to open this pack of Battle for Zendikar. We're going to see what's in it, see what we would take, pack one, pick one in a draft, and hope it's something good, and hope we finally open an expedition. I've not seen one yet. At least I've got several more months of chances with Oath of the Gatewatch. Up first, we have another green card. This is at least 3 weeks in a row with a green card sitting on top. I can't remember if we had green even after that. But green's bad. Green's bad. Don't play it. It's not good. I really hope it gets better in Oath of the Gatewatch, though, because I do like green. However, this is Territorial Baloth, which is 4 and a green for a 4/4 with the landfall +2/+2 trigger. Not good. Not good. It costs way too much mana, comes down way too late, and you're not going to be getting that many more landfall triggers through the game. Yeah, it's a big dumb 4/4. Way too much. Not first pickable and not terribly playable. Up next, we have Clutch of Currents. Clutch of Currents is first pickable. It generally isn't a card you want to first pick. You want the pack to be better, but it is a serviceable first pick. It's a single blue mana for a sorcery that bounces a creature, and you can pay 4 and a blue to awaken a land along with that and make yourself a 3/3. Solid tempo play. It's a great play at 1 mana. It's a great play at 5 mana. I feel totally fine playing it for either of those costs, and it always kind of does what I want it to do. Really happy with Clutch of Currents. First pickable. I really hope it's not in this pack, though. Next up, we've got Calastria Nightwatch. This is a 4 and a black creature, vampire, warrior, ally, so it triggers your rally dudes. Whenever you gain life, Calastria Nightwatch gains flying until end of turn, so it becomes a 4/5 flyer if you gain life. Maybe you can do that on demand with something like a Stonehaven Medic, or maybe you have to use something like Calastria Healer or cast a Courier Griffin alongside this or something like that. If you can repeatedly gain life, then this is actually pretty decent. If you can't, it becomes significantly less good. It becomes kind of a boring 5/5 for 5 mana, which just isn't that great. You want to definitely go for your Calastria Healers and your Serene Stewards and your Courier Griffins and a number of other cards before you want to go for this one for the black-white life gain deck. So totally not first pickable, but a serviceable card if you need to, if you didn't get those other cards I just mentioned. Next up, we have Swell of Growth. This is a 1 and a green for an instant. Target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn, and you can put a land from your hand into play. This is a good pump spell. It's a solid pump spell. Giving your creature +2/+2 is often going to do pretty good in combat. You are probably going to surprise kill a creature and maybe even have your creature live through the ordeal. And if you happen to have a land in your hand, you get to play it as well. You get a little bit of ramp out of it. I've surprisingly missed with this card a lot when I've played it. I've not had a land in my hand by the time I get around to wanting to use a combat trick. I've also had cases where I have cast this on my opponent's creature because I desperately needed a land. I think it's just luck and variance that has made me miss on this card. I don't think it's actually consistently going to miss as bad as my experience has been. It is a fine card, but again, you're not going to first pick it. You're not going to go into green because of this. But if you're in green, I feel sorry for you, but this card is perfectly playable if you are in green. Next up, we have McIntee Patrol, 2 and a white for a 2/3 creature human knight ally. It's got a rally trigger on it. All your creatures get vigilance when this comes into play, or any other ally. This is one of those sort of workhouse cards of the red-white ally deck, the black-white ally deck. It's just kind of fine. You're never going to first pick it, and you're never going to go, oh, I got the McIntee Patrol back, or, oh, this pack I just opened has a McIntee Patrol. But you're going to take them. Not first pick, not second pick. You're going to take them like 6th pick, 7th pick, 8th pick, and be pretty happy with them and play them. Play 1, play 2 even. But not first pickable, unfortunately. Can anything on seat Clutch of Currents? Well, not Lava Step Raider. Single red mana for a 1/2. You can pay 2 generic and a red to give Lava Step Raider +2/+2 until end of turn. So it has very expensive double fire breathing. Not good. not good. As I've said before with Akum Stonewaker, you don't want to not be establishing your board in exchange for a minimal temporary gain. So I don't want to pay 3 mana to get an extra 2 damage in rather than establishing my board. If I have nothing else to do, then sure, I'll do that. But I would so much prefer to have something else to do, and I can build my deck so that I have something else to do. Lava Separator is just not going to be good. You don't want to play this card. 1-drops you need to be very careful with because they're very frequently traps. And this is a trap card. Don't play it. Next up, we've got Dominator Drone. This is another kind of workhorse card. It's a totally fine card. It's nowhere near first pickable, however. 2 and a black for a creature Eldrazi Drone. It's a 3/2. It's got Devoid. It has Ingest, which some people miss because it's kind of tucked away in the middle there. And when it enters the battlefield, if you have another colorless creature, be that a Scion or another Dominator Drone or even a land that's been animated, then this deals, or sorry, it doesn't deal. I believe your opponent, yes, your opponent just loses 2 life. Each opponent, if you happen to be in Two-Headed Giant. Yeah, this is a totally fine card. It's a 3/2. It's nice and aggressive at 3 mana. It ingests, which is going to power your processors, and it frequently, assuming you're in black-blue or black-red, anything other than black-white, really, this is generally going to be turned on for the last ability. It's going to make your opponent lose 2 life. Solid card. I really like them. I'll play them in multiples. I'm not going to first pick them, though, so out of the pile you go. Nothing is going to unseat. That's the word I was looking for, this Clutch of Currents. We have Undo Champion, 2 red for a creature Minotaur Warrior ally. It's a 4/3, and it's got Rally. Whenever it or another ally enters the battlefield, all your creatures get Trample. Trample's not that exciting. It's fine, but your red-white allies generally aren't super big. However, when it stacks with things like Indestructible or Double Strike or First Strike or anything like that, the trample becomes really good. Still, the sort of incremental advantage of getting through an extra couple of damage here or there when your opponent's chump blocking is still pretty darn nice. And this is a 4/3 for 4, which is fine. Double red hurts it ever so slightly. You're never going to first pick this, but if you're in red-white allies, you're going to play this, and you're going to be pretty fine with it. Next up, we have a Ghostly Sentinel, 4 and a white for a 3/3 flying Vigilant Core Spirit. Another sort of solid card that I would never first pick. This goes incredibly well in blue-white flyers. This is actually kind of your finisher if you don't get a bomb in blue-white flyers, because you build up your walls on the ground, you tighten in coils anything they have in the air, and then you just hit for 3, and hit for 3, and hit for 3. And of course, you probably have a couple of other guys coming along as well. Solid card, but you're never going to first pick it. It does not beat Clutch of Currents for me, but you're going to take it highly if you are heading towards something like blue-white flyers. Benthic Infiltrator. This is going to compete with Clutch of Currents. We'll see what happens, though. 2 and a blue for a Devoid creature. It has Ingest, and it's unblockable, and it's a 1/4. This is not going to kill your opponent, but it is going to ping away at them a damage at a time, and much more importantly, it's going to ingest their cards and fuel your processors. This is incredible in blue-black process control kind of deck, and it's also totally serviceable in a blue-red deck, where maybe this becomes a 2/4. Maybe it becomes a 1/5, depending on if you have Ruination Guide or Tide Drifter or multiples or some combination of the two. Solid card. I kind of like Clutch of Currents. I wouldn't want to first pick this. I would hope my pack wasn't that bad, but I would also be okay first picking it. Serene Steward, 1 and a white for a 2/2 creature human cleric ally, and whenever you gain life, you can pay a single white mana to give target creature you control a +1/+1 counter. Actually, it's not even creature you control. It could be any creature. But you can give a creature a +1/+1 counter permanently for a single white mana if you gained life. This combos, of course, really well with Stonehaven Medic or any sort of repeatable or semi-repeatable life gain. This works really well in the life gain deck if you're in it. I wouldn't tend to take this and say, aha, I am going to go into the black-white life gain deck, because I don't think it's a sign that it's open. And of course, if you're first picking this, then it's just a total gamble what's going to be going on. I think Calastria Healers are the much better sign that you're going to be able to go into that deck, and then you pick up Serene Steward. I just wouldn't first pick this because it's too much of a gamble that you're not going to get the cards you need to go off with this, because of course it's significantly less good in white-blue or in white-red or in white-green. But fine card, not first pickable, though. Our next uncommon, also not first pickable, Plated Crusher. 4 green, green, green. For a creature beast, it's a 7/6, it's got trample, and it's got hexproof. Hexproof is a bad mechanic, so they lock it behind either terrible creatures who are, 1/1s for 2 or 3 mana, or they make it incredibly expensive if it is on a good creature. You're going to have so much trouble casting this in most games that it's just not worth putting it in your deck. It's a lot of mana. It's a 7-drop. You need to get to 7. That's tricky. You need to have 3 green. That's even trickier when the easiest way to ramp is to have Scions. Your Scions don't help cast this. It's hard to get this guy out. If you do, you're going to have a good time. You're going to be stomping over your opponent. But getting it out is so tricky, and I don't want to first pick this. If I'm in green, I'll take this late. Pack 1, Pack 2, Pack 3. But I'm not going to jump on it too quickly. Our final uncommon is a Breaker of Armies. 8 generic mana for an Eldrazi. It's a 10/8, and all creatures your opponent controls block if able. It's not exactly the templating of it, but that's the way I read it. When this guy attacks, your opponent has to throw everything underneath it, which A, means you're going to be able to deal 10 damage to all of those things, hopefully wipe their board or kill a considerable number of their creatures. B, all your other creatures that are attacking are getting in for free. They cannot possibly be blocked. So this guy almost kind of has a lure effect. Actually, flat out has a lure effect on it. I'm not sure what I was thinking there. Just a solid card, a great finisher if you can get up to 8. Blue-black control, I really kind of like this. Some of the green ramp, when it can work out, this is a decent card. But you need to know that you can get up there. And I wouldn't take it and hope that I could get up there. So I wouldn't first pick it, but I would take it when I know that I'm already kind of going towards one of those decks. So not first pickable for me, but I'm going to keep my eye on them depending on what deck I'm in. Our rare is a mythic rare. Not a good one, though. It is Part the Water Veil. It is a 4 blue sorcery that lets you take an extra turn and you exile Part the Water Veil. So no returning it, no shenanigans there. But you can also pay 6 blue. You can pay 9 mana if you want, so you get a 6/6 creature and an extra turn. This doesn't work in Limited. You're not going to get to those ridiculous mana costs, and if you do, an extra turn is either inevitable, you have the board state and your opponent doesn't, and you're going to kill them even if your opponent gets to take an extra turn, or your extra turn is going to be, I draw a card, I play a land, go ahead. It's going to be worthless, and this takes up a card slot in your deck. Don't take Part the Water Veil unless you're taking it for money. I don't even think it's worth that much. Maybe it is. Who knows? But yeah, avoid this card. Don't play this card. It's just not for Limited. It's for Constructed, and even then it's for like Commander Constructed. So no Part the Water Veil for me. And then we've got a Forest and an Eldrazi Scion. So I'm looking at, very boringly, Benthic Infiltrator and Clutch of Currents. That's a really good question. I don't know which of those I would want to take because, of course, both of these are the cards that I kind of said I don't want to first pick these. I hope the back's not that bad. Well, it turns out it was. I think ultimately I'm going to take the Benthic Infiltrator. I just have a slight preference for blue-red colorless or blue-black process, and that fits into both of them and does a really key role of getting in for damage and ingesting. The Clutch of Currents is a nice tempo play, but I tend to see them go around a little bit later than I see the Infiltrators go around. So I'd rather take the Infiltrator now and try to pick up some clutches a little bit later. Let me know what you would have taken, though. Would you have taken the Clutch of Currents? Would you have gone all in on Part the Water Veil? What would you have taken? Let me know in the comments down below. As always, if you have any questions or comments or suggestions, you can find me on Twitter at The Mana Leak. That's L-E-E-K, like the vegetable, not the card. And you can also find me on Facebook at facebook.com/themanaleak. You've found me here on YouTube. Please make use of the comment section down below. I love interacting with you guys and seeing you interact with each other. Just please keep it civil. As always, if you like and enjoy my videos, you should like and subscribe my videos. That way you can see all the latest videos as they appear. There will be set reviews very shortly. We're counting down the days to the full spoiler of Oath of the Gatewatch being released, at which point I will have set reviews up ASAP. You want to make sure you see those, so make sure that you do subscribe. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, let me know. Otherwise, I will see you all next time.